What's up, boys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going back through the old thing that I've done before about Fortnite news within EU. Don't know how long this is going to last again, but we're going to try to be as consistent as possible. Very short videos, trying to go every 1 or 2 days, so let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about today is the $100,000 ESL GBL tournament. Now, for those of you that haven't heard about this tournament, I'm not surprised, because this is probably a $100,000 disaster in my opinion. Now, for those of you that missed it, JBL is hosting a 100k tournament in Fortnite. Now, this goes across multiple regions. We have NA East, Asia, and EU. Now, keep in mind, this is a tournament for $15,000 for first place, and just 10 days ago, there were only 76 people signed up to this tournament. Now, after I tweeted about the tournament, they obviously got the fill up to 400 players, and it super filled up, but you have to imagine, this is $100,000 going into a Fortnite tournament, and nobody even knew about it, in EU at least. So my question is, what do these sponsors and what do these organizers even gain from this sort of tournament? And honestly, I have no idea. The publicity isn't that great. The amount of players playing it is very minimal. So I don't understand the investment into this sort of prize pool. And especially now, because this is the second iteration and the previous iteration was exactly the same. Barely anybody signed up until someone tweeted about it. And the marketing / the viewership on the actual tournament itself was almost zero as well. So, more than likely, they signed a 2-year deal with ESL to host this tournament, but it doesn't really work out for them. And I would be lying if there was actually zero marketing on this tournament, but there is some sort of marketing. They actually paid, or at least I think they paid, since it's an advertisement, Burger to promote the tournament on Twitter, and yet, the tournament didn't even fill from what I saw for NA as well, so that is a little bit painful, and it does worry me, at least from my perspective, that if companies are putting this much money into tournaments and they're not going to see return on investment, that bodes really badly for the future of third-party tournaments in EU and NA East as well. We need to be getting the right organizers for these sort of tournaments, otherwise you're just going to get a PR disaster. And speaking of disasters, the actual hosting of this tournament was highly criticized on Twitter as well, because the way that it worked is basically you could sign up to the tournament, you had to be 16 plus, and 400 duos could sign up. Now, the weird thing about that is only 200 people of that 400 could play, and the way that you could play it is by simply clicking the button first. So you can have 200 potential players who are excited to play the tournament just not be able to play because they didn't click a button quick enough. So that was a little bit of a disaster. Alongside that, there were some other obvious issues, such as the key being distributed through emails, which is you know, we might as well use carrier pigeons at this point. And we also had this weird sort of notion that they wanted to host 1 game per hour because they didn't know how long the tournament would last, or how long each Fortnite game would last. I don't want to give too much blame towards an organizer, because obviously there's an opportunity there, but it's a little bit scary to have that sort of precedent within the tournament organization field and area, because this is a lot of money that could be going towards something else, and it could be used by, you know, more experienced tournament hosts to provide better practice and better prizing and competition within the environment. The second story of today is obviously there was the Dreamhack tournament this past Saturday and Friday, and of course the big MrSavage did win the first LAN event after coming back. Now, this wasn't the most prestigious tournament. The prize pool was very small. It was only $3,000, but that makes a lot of sense because it is a test tournament. Basically, we did hear during the hype hour that Epic wanted to have an evaluation period for these sort of tournaments, so this is a pretty good one, right? Testing out the waters, seeing if it's safe and if it is feasible to host a large-scale Fortnite tournament for players. It seemed to be a pretty big success. I didn't hear too much issues from the tournament itself. The only other thing is obviously that it was very, very small scale. So for example, there was 2 rounds to this tournament. There was an opens round and then a finals round. And all you had to do was just play the opens round until to qualify, because there was a total of about 87 people queuing up for the open. So as long as you played, then you got into the finals. Now, that's not a big deal. You know, you can't really expect that many people to go to a LAN considering the circumstances of the world right now. But, you know, it's still pretty unfortunate that the first LAN event that we have is such a small scale and not the most competitive tournament that we've seen so far. But congratulations to Savage on continuing to prove that he is a very competent solo player and, you know, beating out a lot of different pros. Andretta was playing, iDrop was playing, you had a lot of Norwegians in there. Special shout out to Archie, who streamed the entire event and also made money. You know, it was a fun event to witness, for me at least. I had fun watching the streams and everything else. Speaking of streams though, there was no main coverage of the stream, which was pretty unfortunate because I think the viewership was pretty good. You know, we had streamers who don't average that many viewers, usually, you know, 400 to 500, averaging 3,000 to 2,000 viewers in total, just because people wanted to see what the LAN was like. And I would have loved so much more coverage of that LAN because, honestly, even with the limited coverage, I was excited. Everyone was hungry to watch it, so that bodes for good things for the future of Fortnite competitive and LANs, but, you know, I wish there was a little bit more involvement there from the organizers. The third story for today is some small pro news. We have Aqua finally getting signed to Cooler. I think it was a 7-month period that Aqua is now a free agent, and now he has finally been assigned to a team. Now, there could be a lot of potential different teams here that would be signing him. We do know that Become Legend is looking for a pro player, as shown by Reno tweeting out a few weeks ago that they're looking for some potential signings. Not really sure if that is the right fit for them because they do love their IRL content because of their very popular vlogs. I'm not sure how Aqua fits within that, but, you know, it could be exciting to see him finally because Aqua is definitely one of those players that we don't really see too much of. He does stream, he does make content, but you don't really see the personality behind the godlike player that is Aqua. Another potential signing could be for Astralis. We did hear the CEO mention on a podcast that they were looking to sign a duo together to Astralis.
Like, do you plan on bringing on more players, or are you starting off with just Thomas, seeing how that...
I think we're going to start up with just Thomas, and I think what we'll probably try to do is find someone who is the best possible teammate for Thomas, and then try to sort of see if we can actually get to work with these things.
It doesn't work.
And not even a Danish duo, so this could bode well for Aqua, maybe joining one of the biggest organizations within CSGO as well. Not really sure if that's even possible though, because Aqua's duo, as far as I know, is CRR, who is signed to Fnatic still, unless he switches up with somebody else. But there's not that many, at least German speaking, which I would assume Aqua would want. Duos looking for someone that is also a free agent, reason being the last of them that is now signed towards Guild Esports. Maybe some other things could be Man City. They did sign Threats a little while ago, but haven't really signed anyone else or made any waves within Fortnite. And Aqua would be a big splash that could make to sign one of the best and long-standing legends of the Fortnite community to their organization. The last piece of pro news, some duo hype. And it's something that maybe I'm a little bit excited about. That's why I'm talking about it. Letshe is trying out with Flikk as a duo. Now, obviously, Flikk hasn't had the best of results in the past few months due to his trio of circumstances. Letshe also not having the greatest of the past few seasons because he did get banned before Heats one of the times, and that caused him to have issues with finding trios in the future. But I really like this combination of plays, you know. These guys are both grinders. Flikk is very, very strong. Letshe, I feel like I've seen him play the best Fortnite of his life in the past few months, so I'm definitely excited to see what can come of it, and if they're trying out fully within practice, I'll update you guys on the other noble viewing parties and the YouTube videos. But this is a duo that has me a little bit excited. I would love to see these guys play together. It sounds like a pretty good fit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed these type of short news segments, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.